Tonight is the first debate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Now let me break down the details for you, as well as what to expect out of this debate and who I think may win the debate. First up, before I even get to this, I will be streaming the debate today on YouTube. The backup is going to be Twitch in case anything happens with the YouTube stream. So the link to the Twitch channel is below the video as well, twitch.tv/therationalnational. But more than likely, I will be on YouTube streaming this debate as it happens, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern. So I'm going to try to be on YouTube at about 8:45, 8:50. And it's going to go for about 90 minutes. The topics that will be covered. So Chris Wallace is the one moderating. He is not fact-checking during the debate, meaning that people at home and the commentary after the fact will have to rely on fact-checking Biden and Trump, mostly Trump. But that said, here are the topics. So the Trump and Biden records, so both of their records. The Supreme Court, of course, COVID-19, the economy, race and violence in our cities, and the integrity of the election. Now, based on this knowledge that we have, here's what to expect from each candidate. Donald Trump, I expect him to focus largely on, at least when it gets to especially the integrity of the election, but I think throughout the debate, he will discuss how he doesn't trust the mail-in ballots, the mail-in balloting, he may bring up ballot harvesting, which is just ballot collection, but any way to try and undermine the election, because he knows right now he is being destroyed in polling, in both national polling and state by state. That doesn't mean you should be comfortable if you're a Biden supporter, but that just means that right now he's not looking too good. So Trump's his only hope right now is to try and undermine the election before it happens. And then, as I've discussed a million times, Trump likely will try and claim victory on Election Day, even though a lot of the vote will not be in yet because of mail-in balloting that gets counted after the Election Day. So that's what likely is going to happen. But in this debate, he'll focus on that. He'll also discuss, of course, the riots, as he calls them, and property damage being his focus there, of course, largely ignoring the many cases that have popped up, especially over the past year or so. And something that I think Trump has done as a mistake for him is to lower the bar so much for Joe Biden. So this entire time, Trump has been calling, Joe Biden senile. He doesn't know where he is, essentially making fun or making light of his mental state. That's going to be a problem, because if Joe Biden is just okay, performs well enough, is able to answer questions, is able to slam Trump on a number of things, then it's going to appear that Biden did a lot better than people expected, because Trump is lowering the bar so much for his base. So I think that's going to backfire on him. Biden was sort of hit and miss during the primary debates, but he did fairly well in that last debate against Bernie Sanders, when a lot of us expected him to not do that well, but he held his own. And I think Biden is going to perform fairly well tonight. And part of the reason being that the facts are on his side. COVID right now has completely destroyed the U.S. You compare the state of the pandemic in the U.S. to any other major country, it is not even close. Donald Trump has completely failed in his response to the pandemic. Biden should bring up, hopefully, how Trump canceled the plan, the USPS plan, to send 5 masks to every household back in April. Trump stopped that from happening, leading, of course, directly to many more people getting the virus and many more deaths. And of course, Trump never took masks seriously until the end of the summer, basically. So Biden has a lot to work with there, a lot to discuss when it comes to COVID-19 and Trump's failure, and how Biden would change things and how he would get the country out of it. The Supreme Court, of course, is going to be a big discussion piece, as it is a topic here, but Biden's focus, of course, is going to be on Trump's Supreme Court pick likely wanting to overturn the Affordable Care Act, meaning millions may lose their health care if Trump gets his way. Healthcare is a big issue, continues to be a big issue for Americans. So Biden, of course, I think will focus on that. And then we get into what recently hit with the tax returns. Trump only paying $750 in taxes in 2017. It's a way for Biden to continue to push this narrative out there, or this idea that he's running to represent the Scranton, as he calls it, or the working class voter, whereas Trump is representing the Wall Street, the wealthy voter. So that's another way for Biden to focus on that. Talk about how Trump didn't pay any taxes and only paid $750. It's another example of how the wealthy get away with continuing to amass wealth, while everyone else, the bottom 90% of the country, has to pay for that wealth. Also, I'm hoping to see Biden make some kind of slights against Trump, because I think that would work in his favor. Bringing up the fact that, according to his tax returns, Trump spent about $70,000 on his hair. I spent nothing on this, but Trump spent $70,000 on his hair. That's a way to discuss how Trump is so out of touch, how the average person spends, $15 on a haircut. Donald Trump spends $70,000 on his hair. He is somebody who is not attuned to the issues that most Americans face. That's just one example of that. And Biden and Harris recently just released their taxes, released them today. So Biden is able to discuss how, we released our taxes. We're open and honest about the money we've made and what we paid in taxes. Meanwhile, Trump is trying to hide that information. So again, pushing the idea that Trump is simply not honest. And lying is going to be a big part of this debate. There is going to be a lot of lies from Trump. And because there isn't going to be real-time fact-checking from the moderator, Biden is left to attempt to fact-check some of that himself. And according to some reporting, Biden is not going to focus on fact-checking Trump. And honestly, that's probably the best idea, because there's going to be a lot of lies. If Biden's just busy trying to fact-check Trump, he's not going to be able to get out his own lines. So the best way to go into this debate is simply talk about how, Trump lies all the time, and maybe mention, a few of those lies, and then go into what you want to focus on as Biden. But it's impossible to fact-check Trump on the fly. There's just going to be too much lying. So Biden can't really do that effectively anyways. And of course, Biden has to bring up, as it is a discussion here, of course, race. And how we've seen a massive increase in hate crimes over the past 4 years under Donald Trump. And while Trump will try and pin the so-called riots on Joe Biden, it's happening under a Trump administration. This idea that Trump continues trying to pin Joe Biden with these protests, or with any property damage coming out of the protests, is completely ridiculous. I mean, his angle is, this is a Joe Biden America. This is what would happen if Joe Biden ran the country. Well, right now, Trump is running the country, and this is happening under Trump. So Trump's argument there just, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And if Biden's able to capitalize on that and discuss how, hey, why are you putting this on me when this is happening under your watch, then it could be a way for him to deflect some of those attempted attacks. Now, who do I think will win? I think it depends on if you care about facts. If you care about facts and reality, the facts are on Joe Biden's side. Trump has completely mishandled the pandemic. Trump's tax returns clearly show a man who is corrupt, and his leadership or lack thereof over the past 4 years, I think, is self-evident. So if you care about facts, regardless of how Joe Biden even answers these questions, I think it's going to be obvious that Trump loses, regardless of how well Joe Biden does. That said, I do think Joe Biden will perform well enough. I don't think it's going to be exceptional. I don't think it's going to blow anybody away. But Biden's plan here really, I think, is to appear like your standard status quo leader. And at a time right now when the country is in such disarray, just seeing somebody who is competent is going to be a a massive change to what people are used to under Donald Trump. So just being competent for Joe Biden is going to be good enough and will impress enough people because they've just seen a completely insane leader over the past 4 years. So I do think Biden will win this debate. At the same time, I'm sure for Trump's base, they'll make excuses. They'll find ways to say how, no, Trump won the debate. But ultimately, a lot of people just want to return to normal. And I know that definitely is not enough. There were many issues of wealth inequality, issues when it came to race and criminal justice well before Trump came in. But having the kind of insane leadership that people have seen over the past 4 years under Trump, people just want a return to normal. And I think Joe Biden's going to offer that. And it's going to be appealing to a lot of people who have forgotten what a leader looked like. So again, I'm going to stream this debate tonight on YouTube. I'm going to have a guest on, the Surfs. They're going to be co-streaming it on their channel on Twitch. So come check out the live stream, and we're going to attempt to have a good time. But come watch it, and you know, even though ultimately I think this debate doesn't really matter, most people have made their mind up in this race. At the very least, it's going to be entertaining and maybe a little window into what a Biden presidency could look like.